All right, we're group 5, and this is the last group lab quiz. My name is Mario Munoz.
I'm Les Rose B.
I'm Eddie Vaught, member C.
All right, get
All
started.
right. Scroll back up a little bit, Mario.
All righty, so I'm gonna have to skip this one. I'll do number 2.
Okay, I'll take it. Thinking back to the evolution experience game, what features other than color, teeth, and tail might change if two populations found themselves inhabiting drastically different environments? Construct at least 2 predictions. You may want to replay the game. I said if the two populations came back together over time, that their traits may present themselves, such as eye color, adaptive traits as well, stronger legs used to evade predators, wolves, and better eyesight from the Arctic area, based on the game in the Arctic desert, or wolves in the desert, or Arctic cold environment.
I didn't check them because I was in the middle of driving and holding them.
Sounds good to me. I agree with that answer. I didn't get to play the game, but kind of getting the gist of it, I kind of got the same thing. Then the 2 things that I put were like the legs and the like their head shape would change if they needed to get food from somewhere else.
Yep. Different food sources, probably trying to hunt themselves.
Yeah. And I compare that to the finches, Darwin's finches, and how their beak changed, almost immediately depending on the rainfall.
Yep.
All righty, so we'll just, y'all good with that?
I think so. I mean,
Yep. Uh-huh.
All righty.
sounds fair.
There are 2 populations of squirrels in the Grand Canyon area, and they're clearly separated by the canyon itself. Over time, they have become genetically and reproductively from one another in their respective environments. What might happen eventually came back in the context and I think if the squirrels were trying to mate the other strong squirrels, if the squirrels would try to mate with the other strong squirrels and produce an offspring, that's I don't even know they two the new generations would inherit traits developed over time in each environment group. If they have been apart for so long, the gene pool would not be that close and would not give any worry of inbreeding. And I think they would live as separate species until one of the species was able to mutate and the species were able to breed again, or one or both of died out. So, the question clearly states this cannot interbreed. I guess.
That was an edited. My answer was edited, so that's not what the original answer that I had.
Gotcha.
That's why I put edited on that. And I think the original answer that I had they would eventually breed and then form another single species. But so I kind of think that question clearly states that the 2 squirrels cannot inbreed was directed at me. But so that was what I changed, and I think they would live separate species until one of the species was, because they had to mutate to get away from
The other group.
yeah, so they would have to mutate again to get back to, and one of the species would either die out or both would die out, or Loki.
What do y'all think? What do y'all want to do? You rewrite this? You want to just select one of these that?
I'm good. Pick whichever one you want, brother. I'm good.
Yeah.
Do me again. She didn't ding you, man. I didn't do too well this one.
Sure, I'm down. I mean,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Shoot, and all 3 of us got this one. Could have traded that. All right, go ahead, Eddie.
Could a trait that was not variable evolve? Why or why not? And this one I was still looking for. I was trying to edit this one. I was in the process of it. But obviously I was wrong. The trait is not variable. There's only one phenotype to work with. So how can it change? And I was kind of I guess confused on the alleles and the phenotype and the genotype. And phenotype is a physical trait. I'm thinking that that somebody sees, but
Yeah.
The answer I put is I think yes, because variable traits will be coming up and eventually become a dominant trait, and that is not what they're talking about. So Les, you had I think a trait that would not. Does that your edit?
Yeah, that's mine. I edited it, and basically what I did, I took non-variable trait to mean a fixed trait.
Right.
So a fixed trait, I put it could evolve over time if the offspring they would get the trait until there was an evolutionary change. I saw something talk about evolutionary change in the trait, and once that happened, then it would become a variable trait until it grew back up in the population to become a dominant and a fixed trait.
Okay.
Non-variable at that point. That makes sense? I mean,
Yes.
the wording is weird. I got thrown off by that.
Yeah, that one kind of threw me off too. So
Did you edit this one, Eddie, or?
no, I did not edit mine. I was in the process of still looking up that one.
I started looking at not variable trait. Like, well, then that's a non-variable trait. That would be a fixed trait. So the wording there really threw me off.
Yeah, I get hung up on the phenotype and the genotype and alleles and gametes and that lot of stuff, man. I'm like, just fries my brain.
What else we got? You want it, Mario? You want me to take it?
Let's see, do individuals evolve? Why or why not? I think individuals do evolve because we need to survive. Survivors must adapt and overcome their environment. So, yeah, I mean, individuals evolve and then they pass those traits on down to their offspring.
Right.
Individuals do evolve because based on the region of the world, we can gain further enhanced traits for that area of the world. People in Africa develop away dealing with very odd environment, people not, which is correct. You know, people closer to the equator have a darker skin than people up north because of the direct sunlight and all that stuff.
Survival.
Yeah.
Survival of your species.
Yep. And it says, how do individuals evolve? So she put, how do individuals evolve? They make changes to themselves that they cannot pass on to offspring. Give this some more thought. I mean, is that for all of us or?
I don't know. The way where she put it, it's not touching anybody. So I don't know if that means all of us or not.
Yeah.
What is that? How do individuals evolve? That they make changes to themselves that they can pass to offspring. I mean, getting stronger, being faster, stronger. I mean.
But it's also they can pass on to offspring. So that is
knowledge. I mean, we learn how to use tools. Like we learn to use our surroundings, and we teach those techniques to our offspring. Our offspring use those techniques to better adapt to their.
I still think I like Les's answer. I think that fits what we're talking about, and I compared that to like the 100 monkey syndrome. Where like 100 monkeys, once 100 monkeys learn something, then it's just becomes common knowledge.
Right.
And this stuff that I read last year about the monkeys being afraid of snakes. So as soon as they're born. And how that becomes is like nothing's bad has ever happened to them by a snake, but because it was, what I'm saying, like that passed down trait.
Yeah.
Who's this? Is this me?
Yes.
Darwin once summarized evolution as nothing more than descent with modification. In your own explain this quote using an example form of evolution gain. Mine is edited because we all kind of caught a little bit of something on this one. I said it means that we produce offspring that will take on the traits that we pass down to them from the previous generations before us. I didn't know what example I needed to give to that. passing down, the trait. I mean, do we need to give a specific trait name? Eddie, is yours edited or is that your original?
That's my original. Yeah, that's my original. And I'm trying to think of where I've seen this, where I looked this descent with modification. I know I looked this up in the book and some other sources.
Yeah. Mario, you got anything to put on this one?
Man, let's see. I guess, the strong get with the strong, and, their strong traits, like tall people, a tall person and a tall person are more than likely going to have a tall baby.
Right.
Those traits get, continue to pass down.
So what I'm from looking at what she put on mine, but descent with modification means, and kind of I get this from, like, she put, you get what you get, and then whatever you get, if it helps you survive, then that's what's passed on. So let's say that you have 10 people that are born with blonde hair and 10 people are born with black hair, and it's dark outside and there's predators out there that eat the blonde hair people. The blonde hair people are not going to be able to reproduce the black hair. It's kind of like the moth effect, the moths on the dark trees.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what survives. So descent with modification means that everything starts out on equal planes, and whatever survives, and that's what becomes, for the most part, the population.
Gotcha.
All right. So, how do you want me to word that? Let's see.
Give it to him, Eddie.
Let's see. Descent with modification means if you take. Hold on, I'm looking at, like, if you take my.
Mine may be a starting point. We take the traits, we produce offspring that will take the traits we pass down to them from previous generations before us.
That have allowed them to survive.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We pass on the traits that have enabled us to survive to our offspring, which
then becomes population.
Which then becomes dominant for survival in that climate or region.
Just an environment, I think.
Yeah, environment.
Right. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully we get some credit for this.
Yeah, we should. I mean,
Right. Admit. Make sure
they're all there.
There. Selected.
Ah,
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.
all right.